Hi, welcome back to this Friday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Bryan Fischer is my name. Looking to hook up in this segment with Roman Gabriel III, who is live at the Super Bowl. We're going to chat with him. If we can get him on the line, chat with him about faith. Do we have him? Do we have him, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, my bad. I want to chat with Roman Gabriel III about faith in the NFL, faith at the Super Bowl. And Roman, welcome back to Focal Point with Bryan Fischer. I'm going to invite Jeff Reed, my producer, to jump in, and we'll have a three-way conversation here. And I just got to tell you, Roman, again, I've expressed this to you before, but, you know, your dad broke my heart a number of times when he was quarterback in the Rams, and I was a 49er fan. So I'm still carrying a little bit of energy around about that. So I want you to know it's just kind of an act of love for me to bring you on this program.
Brian, it's great to be here, man. I tell you, we're having a great time here. Today's a really busy day on Media Row. We got over 300 press people here, and radio stations, internet stations, national, regional, local. And we're here representing American Family Radio and the Biblical Reporter, excited to bring faith and family football athletes to light for our American family audience. And by the way, go to AFR.net. Jeff, I just got a note that our first premier piece from out here, which is called Faith, Family, and Football, is up on AFR.net for your fans and for your audience that want to see what we've been doing all week long. Really great piece on both teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos.
Well, tell us, Roman, what you have found. I'm going to play a soundbite here from one of the Seahawks players. I think it's from Russell Wilson about his faith in Christ. We got two teams, the Denver Broncos, the Seattle Seahawks, and we know from some of the things we've read, some of the things we've seen, that you've got a number of players on both of these teams that are sincerely devoted followers of Jesus Christ. Talk to us about that.
Well, you know, you set the tone with the coaches and you set the tone with the quarterbacks. Obviously, those are the most visible people that are seen during Super Bowl week. And when you have a guy like Peyton Manning who professes his faith, he's grown in his walk over the years. I started covering him in 2006 is the first Super Bowl with the Colts when they won. He's been through a really tough time in his life with a neck injury that almost took him out of the game. He wasn't sure whether he'd ever be able to play again. And he's made it very clear this week how blessed and thankful he is for the opportunity to play this game. And to do it at the level he's done it and to give his best year of his career is absolutely amazing. And he professes faith and family. I mean, Russell Wilson, here you got a young guy who said he couldn't play, he's too short, a guy who's had a tremendous testimony who he shared all week long, very eloquent and mature for a young man. He was that way at NC State, that way at Wisconsin. When you have a guy who's been the team captain everywhere he goes and players elect that position, you know he's special, and that's what I hear. He just says it like it is. God helped me get where I am. That Jesus Christ and that relationship has carried me through a lot of adversity. And when everybody said I couldn't do it, I knew that God had a plan for my life. Same thing with guys like I love Seattle's coach, Pete Carroll. He's very upbeat. He was saying the other day that he loves his players to have spiritual things. He thinks it's extremely important. John Fox, thanking God that he didn't die of a heart attack earlier in the year this year, and thanking him for saying, it was God that kept me alive. So for fans that are out there, this game is going to be played by some of the best football players in the world. And the fact is, they're all about faith, family, and football. It's true every year. The National Football League is the best secret in the world when it comes to the fact that 95% of the players have some sort of faith, family, football background.
Rob, let's grab clip number one. This is an excerpt from a longer video, and a lot of our listeners may have seen this video. It's about a 14-minute video that contains the testimonies of a number of the players and coaches that are a part of the Seattle Seahawks franchise, including Russell Wilson.
Oh, you're talking about the DVD that they handed out.
Yeah, that's probably the same one. Yeah.
It was tremendous.
Well, let's listen, Roman, talking with Roman Gabriel III. Let's listen to one excerpt off of that Seahawks DVD. Rob, clip one. Let's listen.
I used to always go to church. My parents used to always take me, and I knew about God and stuff like that, but I was always playing sports. And I was so preoccupied with that in a part of my life. And I was kind of a bad kid. Growing up. I had a dream one night. I was at UVA football camp. It was Saturday night, and my parents were supposed to pick me up on Sunday to go to church. I had a dream that my dad passed away, and that Jesus came into the room. And he was just, basically knocking on my door saying, hey, you need to find out more about me. So that Sunday morning, I ended up going to church, and that's when I got saved. It was either June or July when I was 14 years old. And I think that just that moment of when I realized that, there's dreams are really real. Because my dad ended up passing away, 6 years later. So I think that kind of got me through a lot of adversity. Like I said, I was kind of a bad kid. I used to beat up kids and bite kids and do stuff, all the time. But I realized that God had given me so many talents, and I wanted to, give Him all the glory. God's given me this, amazing talent to be able to throw the football, even though I'm 5'11", and people said that I couldn't do it. Nobody can stop what God has for you.
So that's Russell Wilson, Roman, talking about him being introduced to Christ, actually Jesus appearing to him in his room. And it's kind of amazing, and I'll let you respond to this, kind of amazing to have a superstar in the NFL talking that openly about a vision or a dream of Jesus Christ. Really pretty amazing.
Well, he was firsthand. I had a chance to get a crack at him on ESPN on Tuesday morning. And was seen by a national audience, and we got texts from people talking about it, and it's a very similar thing. He's just bold about his faith. He understands how important it is in his life, and he's very secure with himself. He reminds me a lot of Kurt Warner, and reminds me a lot of a guy who's just very comfortable in his skin. It's the reason why people are so confident in him. It's the reason why people trust him. His coach said he's just about perfect. There's just about nothing in terms of, if you want to find something bad about Russell Wilson, you're looking in the wrong place. So
well, and Roman
follows his example.
And Roman, I'm a big-time 49er fan, so we tussled with the Seahawks 3 times this year, and so I've seen them play a fair amount. And one of the things that's always struck me is when you watch the Seahawks play, and this is something that, it worries the opposition, because you look in that guy's eyes when he's in the huddle, you look at that guy's eyes coming out of the huddle, you look at that guy's eyes when he's getting ready for the snap, and it's calm. There's confidence there. There's no sense of nerves. There's no sense of weakness or fear. And so you see a guy that, like you say, not just comfortable in his skin, but, beyond that, there's kind of a level of confidence there. That's pretty intimidating if you're on the other side of the football. And I wonder how much of that sense of confidence that he has as a man comes from the fact that he is so rooted and grounded in God.
Well, I think you start with his parents. His dad was a military man. He's been loved. He's a great family. He has a great wife. And, I've been impressed with him since he came to NC State, because I live in North Carolina. I saw him play at North Carolina State, Wisconsin. There's just a ton of Seattle's one of the youngest teams in the NFL, and there's a ton of guys on that team just like him. I would say that I'm as impressed with the Seahawks and their approach from the top down and the way that they deal with spiritual things as any football team I've ever been around. And I think they're going to win the football game. It's going to be close, but I think Seattle's going to win. I just get a feeling it's their year, and I see a very focused football team that's healthy, and I see coaches as well that live by spiritual truth.
Well, Jeff, let me bring you in. Jeff, producer for a long time on your program, Roman. Jeff, want to bring you into this conversation. I know that when you were doing Roman's program, you guys would often talk about NFL games and kind of make your own predictions and all that kind of stuff. So we got Roman on record.
Yeah, Brian, you're lucky with Jeff, because I want him back. That's the problem. I want him back.
Well, you can't have him.
I love Jeremy, but I miss Jeff.
We had a lot of fun.
He's a lot of fun.
Yeah, on Saturday nights. And matter of fact, I think you still owe me 10 push-ups for, I think, the NCAA tournament in basketball.
I could do them right here for you.
No, but, Brian, let me tell you something about Roman. I know he's excited to be there in media row during the Super Bowl, and he gets amped and he's in his zone. But he does that almost every weekend. Goes to schools, he gets pro athletes and goes to schools and shares Christ with kids and where he's allowed, and where he's not, he finds a way to share goodness and responsibility to kids in schools, and that's like a Super Bowl for him every weekend.
Well, Jeff, let me ask you.
You're exactly right, Jeff. This is a great place to be, but it's a very superficial place. because there's a hierarchy here. The football world is a very small group of people, and everything here is always about pecking order. It's about he's a Hall of Famer. He won 3 Super Bowls. You know, he played for 15 years. But what we come here to do is, while everybody else is talking about the game statistics and about the weather and about who's going to win, we're talking to guys about what means most to them, their passion for Jesus Christ. And that's what you see when whatever we do here, that's my goal. When they say, well, who do you want to interview? I say, I want to interview men that care about something more than just football. And what's great is when people do that, anybody in life, no matter what you do, when you have your priority as faith, God, family, and then whatever it is that he chooses for you to be a vocation for, whatever you do, then you're going to be extremely successful. It's a recipe for success, and that's why Jesus was successful.
Yeah, and you know what's kind of amazing is we ended up interviewing, and you can hear Roman's show every Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time, right here on AFR Talk. But he would interview people that were kind of my heroes growing up, and I had no idea what it was that I found them as role models or my favorite players. But now, looking back at it, I could see that it was the Christ in them that really caught my attention, even as a child.
Yeah, you know, and there's something, Roman, we got about 60 seconds left, but I know when my son was growing up, it was so encouraging to me to know that there were prominent athletes that he admired, looked up to, that were also unashamed in their faith in Jesus Christ. So that can have a tremendous influence on young guys as they're growing toward adulthood.
Well, I tell you what, this is a special place, the Super Bowl. It's my 20th year, and I'm glad to bring it to American Family Radio. When Tim Wildman gave me this opportunity, I was very excited because he gives me a format by which I can spend quality time where people have the chance to relax, open up, and really tell you their stories. We're storytellers, and that's what, as Christians, what testimony is. And I'm really excited to bring it to them. Jeff, Brian, do me a favor. Make sure you tell your audience to get to our video on AFR.net. If they really want to see what the Super Bowl is and who these incredible Christian athletes and coaches and what they're about here, they're going to see it. We're also going to be putting up pictures later on AFR.net. Please follow me moment by moment all weekend long, including post games on our Facebook page, Sold Out. Twitter, it's Sold Out 41 handle. If you want to know what it's like, I'm putting up pictures hourly, daily, nighttime. If you've never been to the Super Bowl, you can come with me. You don't have to be here physically.
Our guest has been Roman Gabriel III, Sold Out Sports at the Super Bowl. Thanks, Roman. God bless you, and have a great weekend. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.